Learn a little something. Take a lesson. Learn it all. Welcome back, guys, to another champion review. This time I was granted Human Torch by Kabam for the CCP program for a short period of time to review and give my thoughts. Here's the quick and dirty. I think he's just okay. He doesn't do a lot of damage, and his block proficiency is not that great. It's a little bit of a ramp up, but I'll get into that a little later. But the dude does look like he belongs in a boy band, likely 98 Degrees or some other temperature-based band. So, in the spirit of boy bands, I thought Human Torch deserved his own song, and then so here it is.
My body's overheated. You're all I've ever needed. Oh, and I won't be defeated, 'cause I will burn for you. Oh, yeah. Oh, your fingers on me. My heavy's charging, baby. Temperature's rising, everything's incinerated. Can't you see? You're all I need, and now I will go Nova flame, girl. You got me overheated when there's no blame. It's all I've ever needed. Just call my name, and I will be there blazing fire, smoldering with my Nova flame. Oh, yeah. You're never gonna cool me down. My heat keeps growing, baby. Pre-flight, ignite, sit tight while I show you how I win fights, baby. Extend the flame to win the game, and now I will go Nova flame, girl. You got me overheated when there's no blame. It's all I've ever needed. Just call my name, and I will be there.
Okay, now for the nitty-gritty. He looks absolutely fantastic. His animations are amazing. The movements are smooth and very fitting for good old Johnny Storm. Love the wink, and so very appropriate for the character. Now, here's the question. Awakened or not necessary? Well, that depends on how badly you want a chance at having Flame on more than once in a single quest run, and your relationship history with RNG. To be fair, each time you fail, your chances go up by a set amount depending on your SIG level, so it seems after 4 or 5 fights, you're able to guarantee yourself at least a second shot at having it. Other than that, it's not really necessary. Now, he's immune to Incinerate, Cold Snap, and Frostbite, but not Nova Flames. We'll get more into that a little bit later on. Now, Human Torch's Flame On introduces a new mechanic to the game, pre-fight ability. Now, you must activate this before the fight starts, and you only get to use it once unless your SIG ability can build up another one, as we spoke about. Now, that ability increases all Nova Flames and Incinerates by 2 seconds and adds 75% damage for all mentioned. So, you have some real potential for damage here. Now, potential, that's the thing. This dude requires a lot of ramp up and then a lot of maintenance of said ramp up. You need to charge up temperature by holding down your heavy. Personally, for something that decreases so rapidly, I would have preferred a charge through dash back and block. There's less risk in that, and especially for such a fragile champion. You see, you start with 10 charges on your temperature, and it goes down immediately and pretty rapidly, especially if you have double edge. Your goal is to get to 20 to activate max temperature, because once you reach it, you don't decrease for 6.5 seconds. And then once it's done that, it's going to go down to 18, so it's a little easier to maintain from that point. Now, the more temperature you have, the longer your Incinerate damage lasts, up to 4 seconds, which is then enhanced by Flame On. Now, temperature has its benefits, like if you're above 10, Johnny can't miss, but that's really hard to keep up when going up against evaders since his temperature is always falling. So, while he can shut down evasion, it's not that easy. Still with me? Okay, here we go. because there's more. Stacking on incinerates on the opponent happen in a few ways. First and last light attacks, all medium and heavy attacks. Now, when you're attacked, for each incinerate you have on the opponent, you gain a 10% chance to stack another one on while they're hitting you. And that's happening while you block and not. Now, with that being said, each incinerate or smolder on either champion raises incinerate damage by 12% for each effect. So stacking these are very, very important. So you're probably asking, what is a smolder? Well, that is when an incinerate effect is applied to you, albeit a failed one since you're immune. But it's replaced with a smolder instead. Now, you also gain them by launching your SP1 and SP2 into blocking opponents, as their last hits will apply that to you, and they're permanent throughout the fight. Now, it would have been really fantastic if they persisted through the quest, but hey, can't always get what you want. And yep, there is more. Now, in order to reach your Nova form, your temperature needs to be at least at 20, and the opponent needs to have 7 incinerate effects. From there, you have 7 seconds, which in my opinion is way too short, and where all your incinerates are Nova Flames. These are passive and cannot be avoided. And while it's active, it removes perfect block, and block proficiency is taken all the way down to 0, with an added power sting. And those are stackable, so there's some potential for damage there. Now, Nova Flames are treated as incinerates, so they benefit from that damage attack increase per stack. Now, this is quite the task in standard fights, but if you're planning on taking on longer content, then you can get in some good practice. But for how long it takes to actually get some damage done, there are plenty of other champions that are much more efficient at the task. Now, there are some pluses here. Any attacks received, blocked, or otherwise that are energy damage increase temperature by 5 and smolders Human Torch. Those are instant attack damage buffs right there. So basically, going up against any Mystic, every attack is considered energy attacks towards this as well. So Mystics go bye-bye pretty easily. So here's the conundrum. Running Suicide Masteries increases his damage out of the box, but his SP1 is essential in helping you build your temperatures quickly. As you can see, the first attack increases your temperature by 5, and it doesn't decrease for 6.5 seconds. So spamming this on an already low health pool with low block proficiency isn't the best idea. Mainly because of recoil, but also the bleed that you gain from Double Edge is going to inhibit all of his incinerate damage. As you can see here in his abilities, every time he's bleeding, he loses 4 seconds on all of his incinerates. So you'd have to outlast that first 60 seconds of the bleed, and then you can get more into his potential. Now, the SP2 gives a guaranteed 3-second stun, and this is mostly where you'll be building up most of your temperature charges in this stun time. You basically just hold your heavy while it's happening, and you can get up to 20 pretty fast. The SP3 will deal Nova Flame damage and enters Nova form for 7 seconds, so this is another way to enter the form if you don't want to do all the buildup. The thing is, how often do you get that chance to perform an SP3 in any meaningful content that isn't Labyrinth or Realm of Legends? So in closing, he's an okay champ. He does average damage with a lot of ramp up and maintenance. I think for what the squeeze costs, there's better juice to be had with other champions. Now, I am still holding out hope for good old Johnny Storm here, and that synergies may help out with the other 2 members of the Fantastic Four, so I'm looking for some kind of temperature maintenance something coming up in the future with either Reed or with the Invisible Woman. Now, if you like the song that we created here, we do these on Music Mondays. You can check out some of the other ones if you haven't seen them. Darkhawk is a favorite.
Darkhawk, he's a man, and he'll do the best that he can.
Diablo.
Diablo. Yo bebo líquido verde.
Which isn't a favorite, but the song is. And Sinister, and a few more. So keep that in mind, check those other ones out, the links are down in the description below. So anyway guys, that is my review of the Human Torch. I would still go for him because he's a collection piece, but I don't think it's super necessary to go all out unless you really want to. Again, I think he's just okay. So, if you liked the video, and I hope that you did, go ahead and click subscribe, click like, leave a comment, share it with your friends, share it with your mama. All that stuff helps me out. And remember, stay dorky, and I'll catch y'all on the flip. Learn a little something. Take a lesson. Learn it all.